Welcome to the Monday edition of Take 5 for Torah. Today is July 14th, and Monday means that we are discussing a date on the Jewish calendar this week. Yesterday was the 17th of Tammuz, and Chazal tell us that 5 terrible tragedies took place in this date. I'm going to refer to 2 of them that are in Tanakh. One through a reckoning based on how Moshe went up to the Mount Sinai to receive the Luchos, and how he came down with them and broke them, and how he ultimately delivered the Torah and all the Halacha Moshe Sinai's to the people. All of that written and oral Torah came down finally with the news that the Bnei Yisrael were forgiven for making the golden calf. That took place on the 10th of Tishrei. Afterwards, and according to the way the dates appear in Chazal, 40 days after Moshe went up originally, when he saw the golden calf and he shattered the luchos in front of them, that took place on the 17th of Tammuz. It's the first reason why we fast on the 17th of Tammuz. Moshe had to teach them a powerful lesson. They were trying to imbue in this golden calf that they had just made with their own hands ultimate Kedusha, the holiness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It was the Erev Rav, those mixed multitudes that left with them from Egypt, that convinced them to do so. That's why they say it, Eila Elohecha Yisrael Asher Helucha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. These are the gods Israel, or this is the God Israel that just took you out of Egypt, and they understood that it represents the one that performed all those miracles for them, but that they couldn't fathom observing any connection to this God without a physical form. That's what they were used to in Egypt. So they convinced the Jews to do the same. It wasn't an object of avodah zarah for a foreign god. It was meant to represent God. And even this God was very angry with it, and Moshe had to teach them by shattering these tablets that God himself made. Even these tablets don't have inherent holiness, and they can be broken in the face of your behavior. That's the Meshech Chacham's explanation of why Moshe broke the Luchos on this very day, the 17th of Tammuz. Not that he broke them by accident, like Rashbam says, not in a fit of pique of anger, like Ramban says, but with cool calculation to teach them a powerful message. The other event in Tanakh that took place on the 17th of Tammuz, the Mishnah says, is that the Babylonians laid siege to Jerusalem on the 10th of Teves, by the word of Yechezkel, and on the 17th of Tammuz, a year and a half later, that siege was broken into. They broke into the city and spent 3 weeks pillaging Jerusalem, and we'll talk a few weeks from now about what happened in the middle of Av. But on the 17th of Tammuz, this took place. That's what the Mishnah says. The Gemara pushes back on the Mishnah and says, wait a second, the 17th of Tammuz is not a date that appears in the Tanakh. In fact, in 2 places in Tanakh, it says that the walls were broken into on the 9th of Tammuz, not the 17th of Tammuz. So this is a bit problematic. The Bavli says, no problem. When we fast on the 17th of Tammuz, that's because that's when the Romans broke through to Jerusalem in the second temple. We're not fasting for the first temple. We're not going to fast on the 9th and again on the 17th. We're just fasting for Bayis Sheni. The Yerushalmi has a profoundly different response to this. The Yerushalmi says that Yirmiyahu, with all of his tzaras and keeping records, he got the date wrong. He was off by a few days. He wrote the 9th, but it was really the 17th. Rashi seems to agree in the beginning of Sefer Yirmiyahu when describing the first prophecy of Yirmiyahu, Makel Shoked Ani Ro'eh, I see a staff sprouting almonds. He cites a Gemara in Bechoros that says that it takes almonds 21 days to fully sprout from the time it flowers. And that is reminiscent of the 21 days from Shivos Tammuz until Tisha B'Av. So Rashi seems to be paskening like the Yerushalmi, right? He says that the Bayis Rishon is Yirmiyahu. According to Yirmiyahu, he should have picked a fruit according to the Talmud Bavli, he should have picked a fruit that takes 30 days to blossom, not 21 days. Be it as it may, we have these tragedies that take place in Tammuz, and we'll see further about these dates in Av. We still recall these things from thousands of years ago, hoping to correct the mistakes of the past that were made on this day.